So, we're in the middle of the COVID crisis. I don't know if I would say the middle, but we're in it.
We're in there.
About in the middle.
What are the challenges that innovation leaders are facing these days?
I'm going to jump on this one, Mike, and then I'll let you piggyback on it. What was really interesting, I just talked about this idea of moving from uncertainty to certainty. And when COVID hit, we were all pushed into the uncertain end of the pool, right? Any assumption or presumption that we had made about what the reality was gone. I can get on a plane to come visit you and have this conversation in person, right? I can rely on a supply chain to get materials to manufacturers. All of these things that we assumed were going to be true in the future were no longer there. We do a lot of work with Rita McGrath, who's a fantastic author and teacher at Columbia and consultant to leaders around the world in the innovation space. And she said the status quo just didn't exist anymore, right? The status quo went away. So we were all plunged into this huge amount of political uncertainty, regulatory uncertainty, financial, economic uncertainty, and we saw clients respond in one of two ways. Some basically retreated, right? They just said, we're going to just pull everything in. We're going to just conserve what we have and ride this thing out. And then we had others who started looking at it and saying, okay, we need to actually reset our strategy. We need to reset our goals. What are the things we're going to try to accomplish? We need to rethink our strategy. And then we need to reassess and rebalance our portfolio of activity really rapidly. Those clients are going to come out the other side of this so far ahead of those who retreated, those who are paralyzed by the uncertainty. It's going to be remarkable, I think, when we get to the other side. Sorry, Mike, I know you were about to say something too. But.
I totally agree.
It's kind of yes onto that, and that was I think people have a comfort and an assumption of basically the permanence of knowledge that we proved it, it's right, that's how it is, and you can predict it, and I think COVID showed that knowledge is incredibly transient. What is true, and we often we used to go from uncertainty to certainty, but I don't think there's ever such thing as certainty. We use a phrase of it's true for now. So it's that idea that something's true for now. It's true now, but it may not be later. So that idea that you had so much stuff that was true that for now just changed. So it's that was, I think, hugely challenging, and their entire operations and organization was built for that permanence. We're optimizing it, we're looking at margins, we're improving it, and it's just gone. It totally went. And what they didn't have is that alternate set of rules, and there's alternate processes, and there's alternate systems, and even the people in place to deal with the uncertainty. They just didn't know what to do. So it's kind of like, keep going. And then that's when we start seeing that capital leakage. They're just hemorrhaging capital, not just financial, but the human, the opportunity, the brand, everything just leaking out because they didn't have a way to deal with it. They just didn't know what to do. Whereas I think a very healthy organization would just start moving things around their portfolio and say, look, we had this in the back pocket. It was, it had high option value on timing. We knew that we could do it. We knew we could scale it because we've invested in things with high option value. That's how we manage our portfolio. We're just going to start exercising options. Whereas people were just like, they didn't have it. They just, we just saw people stunned, struggled, didn't know what to do. That the way they were dealing with it was entirely mismatched to the actual reality of the world. And then we start seeing people going, is this going to go on for 2 months? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? Is it more? Is it permanent? I don't know. So we're now starting to see people, realize that their portfolios are massively unbalanced. And things they're doing are wrong. So we're starting to see that we have to do something. The realization is setting in.
Addie, I think that was really interesting. We really saw a shift in the last 2 quarters of the year where people started to come and say, hey, we need help looking at our portfolio. We need to